What's happening, y'all? Sunday swing trade set up. Y'all forgive me, man. I'm a little rough today. I ain't even shaved. You know what I'm saying? But I got to hit the barber. That's why I ain't shaved yet. But y'all know how we do every week. I'm finna go over some swing trade plays. One of the plays I call hit. We gonna go over that. We gonna go over the market sentiment, all that. So let's go ahead and get started. All right. So first we're gonna start with one of the plays I call. Really, the market went up. You know what I'm saying? The market went up last week. So you probably could have jumped at anything and it would have went up. But let me show you one of the plays I called last week, and then we gonna look at it. Now, I actually didn't get into any swing trade plays, but it looks like where we at? It looks like Churchill Downs. I remember not even really knowing what that company was, but I like the hammer candle at the bottom of a downtrend. I also like that we were oversold on the RSI. So that's the reason why I didn't trade it. It wasn't something that I was in love with, but we that was a nice little setup. So I'm gonna get out of that, and then we gonna go to the chart and see what that look like. Hold on. So remember where that candle is when I called it that little hammer candle down. We looking for candlesticks to end higher next day, right? So let's pull up the chart and let's see what they talking about. All right. All right. You know, we swing from the daily time frame. Let me make sure y'all seeing this with me. Okay. So as y'all can see, I called it when the hammer candle was way down here. If you count 5 days from that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we were green all 5 days. So you could have got in that swing trade on Monday and held it to Friday. Could have still probably been in it. It looked like it might still continue to go up, you know what I'm saying? But out of all the ones I called last week, Churchill was the one that went. And I mean, so all of them would have been good trades. I just didn't like, you know what I mean? I didn't like them for swing trades. Like the trade would have been up, but some of them would have been up if you held it till Wednesday. Some of them, you know what I'm saying? I like for the swing trades to hit the absolute next day. You jump in on Monday, hold it till Tuesday, and be able to get out. So I don't count it as a win for a call on my swing trade Sunday unless, you know what I'm saying, it hit right. So we're gonna pull up the fear and greed index. We're gonna see what they talk about. It looks like it's been a shift, man. It looked like it's been a shift in the market. So I don't think people is as fearful as they've been. But let's see. Fear and greed index, let's look at it. All right, so the fear and greed index, we are fearful. We're fearful on the fear and greed index. If you look a month ago, we were down in extreme fear. A week ago, we were more fearful. So we're trending in the upward direction in relation to the fear and greed index. People are becoming a lot fearful, which is throwing me off a little bit, to be honest, because I'm gonna pull up a little bit of economical news. So if you look at the cap, right, this was reported April 30th, which was Wednesday, right? And if you look at that non-farm employment change, it's a lot of people lost jobs. A lot of people lost jobs. They expected for it to be about 114,000 and it came in at 62,000. A lot of people lost jobs. A lot of people lost jobs. So, based on that information, I was like, okay, cool. The market is going to go down. On top of that, I think the next day the reports was even worse. That was Wednesday. On Thursday, let me pull this up so y'all can see it. So on Thursday, there was even worse reports. Thursday, the reports was even worse. We got unemployment went up. So I'm looking at all this and I'm like, as I'm seeing these reports come in, the unemployment going up and all this, I'm like, okay, well, stock market probably finna go down. But we had a little rally last week. We had a little rally last week. So let's look at the VIX. And then we're gonna pull up VTI. So we're gonna look at VIX. Remember, VIX is inverse. VIX is inverse, which means it moves the opposite of the stock market, right? So as you can see, the VIX did a big spike. When the VIX does a big spike, the stock market is going down. But it's been going down. So it's below the 9-day MA. The MACD is still red. It looks like the VIX could continue to go down. Based on the VIX, I'm expecting the stock market to continue to go up. But let's pull up the chart for real, so we can confirm. You know what I'm saying? Get that confirmation. So let's pull up the total stock market index. Total stock market index is going up. It's in an upward trend. Let's look at the 4-hour upward trend. 1 hour trending upwards. All right. So as y'all can see, I done built out the case. So the VIX is going down. The fear and greed index, there's less fear in the market, and the total stock market index has been going up. So I'm looking at the market to probably go up next week. Let's pull up the news a little bit to see what they talking about. Bloomberg. Now, when I look at the news, come on, man. You ain't trying to see no Hulu. So I look at the news, I ain't really reading articles. I'm just headline skimming. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the headlines is looking like, then I'm just scrolling through. All right. So on the news, it's starting off crazy already. Lower guidance as Trump's tariffs will cost up to $5 billion. Okay. Musk says Doge should definitely examine Federal Reserve costs. Morgan Stanley plans to offer crypto trading on E-Trade. The US can't pretend that Putin is ready for peace. Microsoft shares surge. US and Ukraine sign resource deal after tension negotiations. Moderna and cost cuts. I'm actually finally seeing some kind of relief. The US and Ukraine signed a deal. Microsoft shares surge. Morgan Stanley offering crypto trade. It's a mix, but I feel like the news is probably more good than bad. You know what I'm saying? So the overall market looks like it's going up. The VIX is going down. It's less fear in the market, and the news is kind of positive. So I got some swing trade plays. Some I like more than others. But since I like to try to give y'all new info here and there, one thing you could do, and I never talked about this on Swing Trade Sunday, but one thing you could do to look at the health of the overall market, right? If you look at the financials, XLF, the financials will give you, hold on, let me pull up the chart. So the financials, you know what I'm saying? Everything revolves around money. Businesses need money to borrow, invest, so on and so forth. So the direction of the banks could kind of give you an idea of what direction you expect the market to go. Looking at the XLF, which is the ETF for the banks are going up. Another thing that's inverse outside of the VIX is DXY, which is the US dollar. And the US dollar looks like it could be going up, but it's more on a downtrend. The US dollar, to be honest, is be sometime ish. But without further ado, man, I got a couple of plays. I got a couple of them. So we're gonna go over all of them. I got 8 plays today, y'all. So let me bust through these plays, man. Let me give y'all this work real quick, and I'm gonna explain why I like each one of them. All right, so the first one we got Delta, right? We got Delta Airlines. Now, Delta I kind of like because the summer is kind of coming up. Summer is kind of coming up, and it's not really. It's giving me double bottom vibes on the daily time frame, right? So we got the MACD going up right here. The MACD is going up, and on the daily time frame, it has. Hold on, come on, bro. One bottom, two bottom, right? It's not the most perfect double bottom, but it could also be like a bull flag. So we gonna pull up the double bottom so y'all can see what the double bottom is. And you'll see the patterns don't always gotta be perfect, but you want them to resemble it to the, you know what I'm saying, as close as possible. So just in case I didn't have that up, daily time frame has what looks like it could be a double bottom, but it also give me bull flag vibes too. The MACD is green, and I like the fact that it's above the 9. It's one of my weaker plays, to be honest, but we're gonna show y'all the double bottom and the bull flag because it looked like it's doing both. So double bottom, this is the double bottom. You know what I'm saying? Basically making a W, and once it breaks the neckline, it is considered a double bottom, right? So now let me pull up bull flag. So the pattern to me, to be real, was questionable. Um, so that's a bull flag right there. We're gonna go back to the chart. It's making a flag pole, and then when it breaks the flag, it goes up. So let me pull back up the chart. So as you can see, neither one of the patterns look perfect. The double bottom don't look perfect. The bull flag don't look perfect. I also see an inverse head and shoulders that don't look all that perfect either. Um, the bull flag is looking a little better to me on the 4 hour time frame. And hold on, let me go back to the chart and then look at the daily. I mean, the 1 hour we got, and on the 1 hour we're above the 200 MA. So it's decent. It's decent, but I ain't in love with Delta. It's one of the weaker ones. Let's jump to the next play I got for y'all. All right, so we got Kava. And I'm going to be honest on Kava. I think it's still a go, but we slick kind of late on this play. On Kava, right here is the neckline for a inverse head and shoulders pattern, right? And I already know Kava financials is straight, but let me make sure y'all can see what I see. All right, cool. So I know Kava's financials are straight, but we got shoulder, head, right? Shoulder, head. So that's an inverse head and shoulders. And right where I have this line at right here is where you want that line is where you want it to break in order for it to be an official inverse head and shoulders. So let me pull up inverse head and shoulders so y'all can see the play. Now remember, you don't only swing trade off of patterns. You want to make sure their financials are good, and you want to make sure it's in either, you know what I'm saying, the sector that the stock is in is going in that direction, or the overall market is going in that direction. So because we think the overall market will continue up this week, we got upward plays. And this is the inverse head and shoulders. Basically three drops in price, but the second one is the biggest one. All right. So Delta and Kava, not super in love with either one of them, but I think they both decent. All right, this week I got a couple plays this week, man. I know something gonna hit. I like Nike. Nike is all right. Nike is also giving me the inverse head and shoulders, but I do like Nike. I like Nike because of the kind of slick, kind of inverse head and shoulders or double bottom. But also, I like Nike because it got this gap right here. So I like Nike because it's a slick double bottom. As you can see, we got a trend line, like right here. We got bottom right here. We got a bottom over here. It's not pretty. It's not perfect. I like for them to look a little better than that. But the MACD is green. This indicator that I'm making bigger and smaller. We on green bars, and we're above the 9-day moving average, which is this yellow orange ish line right here, and we got that gap. Let me look at the 4 hour. Let me see. So on the 4 hour, it's kind of giving me. Nah, I feel like I'm kind of forcing head and shoulders on the 4 hour, but I do like at going through all of them. I do like that the MACD is green on the hour, 4 hour, and daily time frame. So it's a couple reasons why I think Nike is decent. But that also ain't a favorite of mine either. All right, next play. I'm gonna start getting into some plays that I actually like. Nvidia. All right, let me hide all this. All right, so Nvidia. I like Nvidia because Nvidia looks like it has a double bottom, right? And we got this neckline right here. We got this neckline right there, right at a nice level of support. Hold on, let me hide this. I got Nvidia all marked up, but Nvidia is giving me a nice double bottom on the daily time frame. Um, I don't really see nothing too much on the 4, but on the 1 hour, we're also trending upwards. As you can see, going from here to here, on the 1 hour, we're trending upwards. So I like the trend for Nvidia, and I also like that we are forming a double bottom. So Nvidia is a good. Oh, my bad, y'all. Let me pull up Nvidia. So we got Nvidia up on a daily time frame. If you look all the way over to the left, we got a double bottom pattern, and the price is right at the neckline. So if Nvidia gaps up on Monday, anything in the upward direction on Monday, I think that double bottom is gonna go. Um, but outside of it, outside of the double bottom, I also like how if you go to the hourly time frame, you can see that we're trending upwards, right? It was down here and now we're going in the upward direction. We gapped up here, gap down here, but the market still went up. Gap down here, the market still went up. Gap up. So it looks like all last week Nvidia has been trying to go up. That's upward momentum, right? So I like Nvidia this week for a swing trade. We got Uber. Oh, let me get these lines off this bit. We got Uber. Let's see Uber on the daily. So to be honest, I think I only got Uber on here for a continuation. It's nothing on Uber that I really could see that's like, you know what I'm saying? That's like, ooh, I gotta jump in Uber. It's been going up. So Uber really just a continuation. I think Uber could continue to go to the upside, but I'm not really in love with Uber, just to be real. All right, let's go to the next one. So I like Starbucks for next week. If you look, we got Starbucks, we got a gap over here. Well, I guess the gap is already closed. But Starbucks, we got this inverse head and shoulders. I don't know if y'all remember when I told y'all about the inverse head and shoulders earlier, but we got inverse head and shoulders. We're above the 9 MA. The MACD is green. I really like Starbucks for next week. I think Starbucks is probably going to go. But plus, we got this gap up here. And the reason why I'm talking about gaps is because gaps sometimes get filled, but they don't always get filled. If you look right here, we have a gap that hasn't been filled yet. A gap in price, right? Like how I mentioned, we got a gap over here and then it closed over here. We haven't closed that gap yet. And since we expecting the market to go up, I got a feeling we're gonna go to close that gap. But let's look at the 1 hour. And the 1 hour is in consolidation. Usually consolidation kind of works in threes. So we got a low 1, 2, 3. So if it breaks up on the 1 hour, then that's probably confirmation that we going in the uptrend. Um, you probably want Starbucks to break above 85 at least before jumping in that swing trade, but I really like Starbucks for next week. All right, I got two. I got two more. I might have to look at the financials on these because I don't know if they all that familiar, but I really like the setup. So let me look at them. Let me look at them. Hold on, y'all. All right. Williams Company. So I like this one, WMB, because on the daily time frame, we got a bull flag, right? We got a bull flag. We're above, and I can show y'all what a bull flag look like, but we got a bull flag on the daily time frame. We're above the 9-day MA. We're above the 200 MA. The MACD is green. Everything on the daily time frame is saying we going up. Also on the 4 hour, it's saying we going up, but we also got a bull flag on the 4 hour. So we got a bull flag on the 4 hour, the daily, and the 1 hour. Let me pull up the bull flag for y'all so y'all can see, and then we gonna pull up financials. All right, this is a bull flag. This is a bull flag. Bull flag is a pole consolidation and then a breakout of the consolidation, right? So let's go back to the chart and see if that really looked like a bull flag. And it really looked like a bull flag on all time frames, like bull flag on the 4 hour, bull flag on the daily. So I mean, if we break either where we at 60, or shoot, I'll even say 61. We break 60 or 61, we probably gonna go. We probably gonna go. So I like them a lot. Let's look at Yahoo Finance because we gotta make sure they making money. I guess this will be the determining factor if we come on, man, if we actually gonna swing that one or not.